Welcome back to Journey to Authenticity, a podcast helping you to become fully authentic on your journey to success. My name is Braden Belknap, and I'm a human just like you, building a dream life while staying true to me. But what if you don't know where to start your journey, let alone wondering what tools to use to enhance your journey for the person that you become and what you're capable of achieving in this world? One of the many ways of overcoming the tools is obviously listening to podcasts like this, which some of the tools you're going to listen to and hear about in this podcast is energy, is intuition, is the words you speak, is energy. That's exactly why we have Jenny Murky coming into the podcast, because growing up, and I should say growing up as an adult, she had kids that had gifts to be able to hear, see the other side. And naturally, as a mom's instinct, she wants to be able to take care of her kids. So she immersed herself into energy, the art of Reiki and tarot, as well as the art of crystals, to where she was able to harness her abilities to help her kids. And naturally, that helped her, which is help the world. Hey guys, I want to just take a quick pause to introduce Email Tool Tester, the place to get started with email marketing. With its reviews of email marketing services like GetResponse, ConvertKit, MailChimp, and many more, Email Tool Tester takes email marketing to a whole new level. To get started, take advantage of Tool Tester's free ebook, the Email Marketing Crash Course, with the link below. And back to the show. Cool. Jenny, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you.
Absolutely. I'm so excited to have you. I've thought of having you on for a while, so I had to reach out.
Oh, you're amazing. I'm excited to be here. Thank you for thinking of me.
You've known me since I didn't even know what I was doing with life back into elementary school.
We had some good conversations. Yep. It was amazing.
So going into this, you're an energy worker. You work with crystals. You work with Reiki. You do a lot. What inspired your journey to start down the road to working with energy?
Okay, well, I am a 6'2" manifesting generator. So within those numbers, it kind of tells you that your journey up until maybe your 40s, 50s, right? All of that is just a combination of bringing all of the wisdom together of what you've learned up till that point, and then you kind of step into a different space in life, right? Then you start to share, and then your path changes. And my son was probably around, I don't know, 7 or 8 when my path changed. And I had been kind of putting out to the universe, like, what is there for me? Is this really it? Like, I'm just supposed to get up, go to work, come home, do homework with the kids, make dinner, rinse and repeat, right? And it just didn't feel like I was living my path, or what was my path. I mean, I didn't even really connect with spiritual things. Like yoga was so foreign to me, right? What was a chakra? I had no idea. So like moving forward, I just kept asking those questions, and that's really where I like to stay in life now, is like in the question, right? So one day I come home from work, walk in the garage, and my son's just staring at me, and we had a Great Dane, and he was sitting next to him. They were best friends, and he's staring at me, and he says, Mom, so I see dead people. They're all around me, and I kind of see like how they passed away. So, it's kind of gruesome. And I just was like, wait a minute, I need to sit down for this. What is happening? And so we sat down and we talked for a while about it. And clearly I needed to figure out what that all meant and find help. And so I started to reach out to some mediums, some friends that I knew that had contacted other people, and brought in some help. And it just kind of started there. Like, his gifts opened the door for all of our gifts. Like, my daughters just had a floodgate of their gifts opening. It's almost like he opened that door for everyone, right? And so as I made the journey with him, I would go take classes. So my first one was I did a Reiki with this lady, and I get on her bed and I'm like, what is going on? Like, she's got crystals everywhere and tea lights and like scarves on the counters. And I'm like, what? And I'm like, it's fine. I'm just going to go with it. So it was the most magical, amazing session I've ever had. It changed my life forever. And I just kept journeying with her. So I noticed she would use crystals, and I would start asking questions. What is that black crystal underneath the bed? And, oh, it's a tourmaline. And over here is selenites. And so then, of course, I had to go learn about that and take a course in that. And then it just kept escalating from there. That course led to this course and so many courses later. And, I would just take the guidance of spirit and like, what am I doing with all of this? And it was to help family. It was to help family and friends. And then one day it just kind of shifted. And it was like, okay, now you're going to make a business. I'm like, what? I don't want to make a business. I don't want to talk in front of people. This is scary. Like, I didn't see this coming. So I started channeling like symbols and codes and I just I always just followed the beat. Like, I just followed the heartbeat. I just followed the string and where it took me. And so all of these Reiki sessions, my Reiki practitioner, she would say, well, you're going to be a teacher one day, and you're going to create card decks that have like symbols on them. I'm like, there's no way. What? So anyway, I did. I ended up becoming a Reiki practitioner teacher in Sikkim Reiki, and then with Yusu Tibetan Reiki, and then through her class, she gifted me the rights of the Munaki. And the day we finished that, it was a big download of light symbols, and I didn't quite know what they were for. And then later on, as I, kept journaling and connecting, it became its own Reiki, which turned into the Heart Illuminating Reiki course. And so it's just been a really long, beautiful journey. And so I can marry that into my life and my friends and my family and extend it out to others now. And I love it so much.
Absolutely. I loved the statement. I love living within the question,
Yeah.
because questions breed curiosity and being a student of life, which
Yeah.
allows for continuous growth throughout your journey.
Yeah. The minute you make a decision, the door's closed. It's final. It's done, right? You just keep asking the question. What else? What else is there? What else can I do? How can I support? Yeah, it just brings in so much more.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So bringing it to life before energy,
Yeah.
you mentioned that you were just kind of living day to day. Was there any hardships with that, or what? Because you went pretty dramatic from living day to day and just going through the motions to truly living in purpose. Was that a hard transition? Tell me more.
Oh my gosh, it was so hard. It honestly, and I don't know if I've really spoke about this out loud, but it was really hard on my relationship with my husband, because, you go from this person that he's used to to all of a sudden, like, I've got to bring in crystals. I've got to bring in statues. We've got to change the way we talk. I've got to do sage and, Palo Santos now. I've got to light candles at night. I've got to spend time sending Reiki to the rooms and praying to the land and to the home. And it really like rocked his world, as well as mine. Like, I didn't quite know where I fit in anymore, because then you're aware of like energies from family and friends and houses, and oh my gosh, I don't know if I can go in this house. Like, I can feel the energy, and oh my gosh, I need to, create a shield, and it really changed a lot. It was hard at first. And then he really stepped into it. He is now my biggest supporter. And I spend a lot of time working on a lot of different parts in my business, and he's all about it. But yeah, it was really hard in the beginning, and it was hard to navigate. And I felt like my children had these gifts, and I didn't know how to help them. And it's almost like they had to help me first. And I kind of lived in this like surrender, this place of surrender. Like, okay, I am the mom. I should be able to help them. And it feels like it's the other way around. Where does it catch up? Like, how do I now kind of take the lead for them? So it took a while, but they were supportive too. And then I stepped into it. And I think I think that place of not only just having a little bit of fear about that, but again, being in that question allowed for it to move quicker. And taking these classes and stepping into the different modalities and trusting in these other teachers and trusting in, spirit showing me which path to take, what direction to go on is what brought me more peace and my answers.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Seems like you've had these gifts forever. It just seems like the universe or God or whatever you want to call it was like, Jenny, come on over here.
Yeah.
And
it's about
he
time you
used your
ask
kids
questions.
to get through you, which is a
Yeah.
beautiful thing.
Yeah.
So if you're okay with it, I'd love to stick on this topic real quick for a moment.
Yeah.
There's so many people that come on the show, but there's also even more people out there that really struggle with diving into their purpose because they're worried about, what's my friend going to think of me? What's my mom going to think? What's these strangers going to think about me? And they never go down their journey of purpose and passion.
Yeah.
How did you navigate that hardship through transitioning with wondering what my husband thinks about me and the ones that I love?
Well, I think I just started on the journey, kind of taking him with me, like explaining it. As I was taking baby steps, I made sure that maybe his were a little bit smaller than even mine, so it didn't feel so overwhelming because I was ready to take the leap. Like I'd been asking for this. And so for him, it would just be smaller steps. It wouldn't be like, I wouldn't talk the woo so much. I would dial it back a little bit. Be like, yeah, so this rock, this tourmaline, it just helps keep you grounded. Like, when I say grounded, like when you're walking, you're like fully in your body. And when I say fully in your body, I mean like you're not going to stub your toe or hit your arm, on the door frame as you walk through the door, things like that, making it real like simple day-to-day practical things. And then, as you start to elevate, then you can be like, oh my gosh, you need to wear this pendant, or you should, or I invite you to more. So, right. Because while you're at work, you're working with heavy machinery and equipment, and it will keep you more on task. And so like less incidents and, things like that. So I think just starting more like baby steps, and then bringing them on your journey, not just all of a sudden, you're in it 6 months and all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, did you just see that angel just land in the room? And you know what I mean? And he'd be like, what is happening? You're crazy. Yeah. So then you can be crazy 6 months later with him instead of him not knowing where you journeyed to, right? So yeah, that's what I would say. Just take them with you.
I love that. Me and Megan just did a podcast that we did about 2 episodes ago. And we talked about really supporting each other. And it starts with communication. Yeah. Is really what it takes. And trusting somebody blindly is scary. But if you start to communicate to them, sharing your vision, sharing your thought processes, even if it's minuscule to start with, at least it allows them to believe in you by seeing it instead of, she's doing this, he's doing this, hopefully it all works out. When you communicate, it allows them to be on that same page with you. So I love that.
Yeah, totally. Totally.
Did you and your husband always have good communication to where you could talk about your vision?
Yeah, but I mean, it was just like, this was a shift. From the person I was when we started to date to the person when that came through and I was like, our world is being rocked. It was night and day. I mean, I was no longer the same person he had dated or had married, or, I mean, I had kind of bait and switched, right?
Yeah.
And so I appreciate that he journeyed with me on that because I had to. I couldn't go back. I mean, you go down that rabbit hole, you take that pill, right? You're just like, I can't go back. I know too much. I can't ignore what needs to change or what needs to happen. And I need to elevate the space. I need to clear the land. Even if I can help your family, if they're open to that, on their path. And, it took them a while, but they come around too. So, yeah, and it's like that ripple effect, and I think if you just stay in your authenticity, like, the old Jenny is still there, but I can go there, like, let's talk woo, or let's keep it simple. And I think that's a lot of like my modalities is I created a lot of different modalities to support wherever they're at. You want to go all in and do Reiki and sound and light therapy? Let's go. You want to just do maybe a baby step and do like some body code work and we'll just do muscle testing? Let's go. I mean, and it gets you where you need to be. Yeah, it'll carry you on your path.
I love that you say that. So a lot of people are like, what do you do? It's like, I'm a coach, a life transformation life coach. They're like, what do you do? It's like, how do you work with people? It's like every person's journey is different. Meaning every time I coach with somebody, it's unique to what the person needs. So I love that you say that.
Yeah.
And you did transform. Think of how much of a beautiful world this would be if people just started living in their authentic self.
Oh, amen to that.
Like just saying, okay, I want to switch now.
Yeah.
So many people are holding on to their bad habits and bad behaviors and negative, toxic thinking simply to please other people. What if I change? What if I go from not so healthy to healthy in my body, spirit, or mind?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, it'll be okay. Go along that journey. And if somebody chooses not to be your friend anymore, let them go because you will be happy for the rest of your life.
Yeah. And it also allows them the chance to be released to find their journey. I mean, not everybody's meant to stay together forever, right? Paths cross for a reason. And if you're holding on to them, you're not letting them be free. They need to find their freedom too.
Yeah. Especially even with marriages. Yeah. You said it. It's life evolves. And the moment you give yourself permission to evolve and your partner is a moment that true happiness can thrive. Because by you holding on to somebody else so they don't change, you're doing the same thing to yourself. Mm-hmm. Let them free, let you free. And naturally, your relationship will become a lot stronger too.
You're right. That's beautiful.
Absolutely. So you went through a major transition. Mm-hmm. After you transitioned, you were full into energy. Were you helping your son, Josh, a lot? Or what did that relationship look like?
Yeah. In the beginning, it was kind of a push-pull energy because he knew more. He was more gifted. He could see everything around him. And within that also invited energies that weren't for his best. And so my daughter would be like, okay, you need to tell that, it needs to go. Like he's not being nice. There was a lot going on. I mean, it's crazy. I've got some crazy stories, but yeah, like, they had their gifts and knew what they were about and even could see mine and didn't share it, which was nice. I'm glad they didn't, right? Because that was my journey to figure out and unlock as I move forward. But it was hard because it was almost like he was the parent. He knew more. And so I had to figure out how to help him help himself. And that was a journey. He would go to school and there's a little kid show. I was trying to think of what it's called, but it's like he's walking to school and he sees like all the little passed away spirits and they're talking to him. And he gets to school and he calls me and he's crying. He says, Mom, I can't. I feel everybody. I feel everybody's crying. They miss their moms. I think he was connecting with like the kindergartners and, Mom left me here. And so I had to figure out how to create a pause button for him. And so that's what we had to do while he was in school was I worked with a lady that did energy and we created that pause button because he could hear everything. It was intense and it was just overwhelming. So we did that. And even now, the pause button has to be very slow to engage because there's a lot that he connects with. But yeah.
Was that hard being a mom, not fully understanding your kid and not fully feeling like you could help him?
Mm. Oh my gosh, so much so. I think that's why I dove in so hard and I went so deep, because I felt like if I knew a little bit of everything, then I feel like I was doing like a full circle that would bring me back to, okay, well, maybe within here I can help with the answer. If I bring in crystals to support him, if I only know of crystals, then I know I can raise the vibration in his room and he can sleep at night and he can be protected and it will just be high vibrations, right? If I know about sage or Palo Santos or different resins or even flower essences that he could take. Like I knew I could start with, okay, what can we bring on the inside of his body? What tinctures or what oils can we rub on, his skin, his feet, lighting candles. Those things were really impactful. All of his days of schooling when he was in elementary, I ran Reiki on him every night, lit candles. It was quite the process, but that's what he needed. And yeah, I was so thankful that all of that came forward to help him and quickly, because he needed help now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he sounds like he opened up to you and your husband when
Mm-hmm.
he didn't know what to do anymore.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he had his own struggles of,
Mm-hmm.
is this just like in my head? But it was very real.
Yeah.
It was natural gift.
Yeah, he didn't know how to help him. Like they would come and message him. They would come to him and talk to him like, what happened to me? I need to get this message to so and so. And I remember like we were trying to figure out, okay, how far do I take this? Do we really like sit down and find some lady in Arkansas that, lost her husband to, a car accident maybe, and so it was hard to try to figure out how to navigate that. Like, is he here to just help them cross over into the light? Yeah, so that was kind of a journey, and it was definitely a journey for him to figure out within his gifts how to help them and to talk to them. So yeah, it was pretty interesting.
Absolutely. How long do you feel like you were in that pit of, I'm having a hard time because I'm figuring out myself,
Yeah.
also trying to figure out my son while I'm navigating this change in my relationship? How long do you feel like that pit lasted you?
Well, for sure 6 months. I would say maybe after 6 months, it started to lighten. Because I mean, yeah, it was a journey. I think even the house that we were living in needed like some love and grace and, attention. And like, I don't know these things. Like, I don't know that that's what's affecting too. Not only the fact that the people that live in the home have free will to bring with them whatever they want to bring with them because they live there. And even though they're not 18, it doesn't matter. Energy doesn't work that way. So like we could help him release what wasn't for his highest and best, we'll say, and call in something lighter, but then he could leave and come back and bring back something different or something just like that. So that was really hard because regardless of the age, they have free will. And so you really have to educate them on, okay, well, does this feel, does this person, does the spirit that's around you feel like a friend? And well, can he reveal his true self? Like there were words like that we would say. Well, if he's cutting me off and won't let me speak, maybe he's not being very nice, because he had some that would do that, and he was and he still is such a sweet, gentle soul. So I think that was easy to kind of manipulate, so I had to figure out how to combat that. And thankfully I had daughters that could see them as well and hear them and be like, okay, Mom, this is what's happening. So we would figure it out together, how to help him and how to help the house and the land and the neighbors. I mean, the more you clear your house and spread the light, right, it helps everybody else too. And then the neighborhoods lift it up and they feel a change and they feel better and their relationships become more harmonized. So what you do affects me too. And that's what I love about that.
That's powerful. And Josh is such a good kid.
Yeah.
Yeah. His smile brightens the world up. And the one thing you can't diminish in darkness is light.
Yeah, you're right.
So I love that. And what I want to say and point out here is you mentioned 6 months. A lot of people are scared to go through that 6 months. It is so beautiful. And that just shows how amazing really you, your husband, and your family is because making a major transition like that for some people can take years. The fact that you went through that quickly tells me that you saw a vision and you just knew that you were going to be okay with that at the end.
Yeah.
Which is amazing.
Thank you.
Absolutely. So what did that journey look like from going from life before to being fully immersed into your energy? Did it start with crystals, start with Reiki? What was your process to acquiring your knowledge and your gifts?
Yeah. I would definitely say it started with Reiki. I was all in. So the lady that came out in the very beginning, she was a medium. And I got her name from a family member because her daughter also was gifted, right? And so she came, oh my gosh, so she came with like a few different men and all this camera equipment and sound equipment, and she was going in. She was like recording spirits and what they were saying, and as she sat there with my son, and she was like, "Do you see this spirit walking around you? This is how you can tell what their intentions are, and why they're here." And so just like close your eyes, and she kind of walked him through this whole scenario. And oh my gosh, that in itself was life-changing. And then to hear like the spirits talk, I'm like, okay, I don't know if I'm about this. So that's when I jumped into like the crystals, because that can raise the vibration, right, in the house. And it was all about layers. So I could do things simply like, okay, without really knowing a lot, you can go into a crystal store and ask questions, or, look online now and bring them in and create like a grid in your room. And then you can play music. So I started playing music to the house, high frequency, right? And then, you could light incense. That's going to bring another layer. You can diffuse energy with water and send like intentions to the water, even write it on a piece of paper and tape it to the diffuser underneath it or whatever. There's simple steps that you can take that just really quickly shift the energy. So you don't have to be like a Reiki master or like a master at crystals or anything like that. You can start out simply with that, bringing in the oils and bringing in higher vibrational foods, or like, different essences, like flower essences, to raise your inner vibration, and just talking about, speak out loud. I think a lot of us keep things inside of our head and don't talk out loud. I'm outside always walking around talking to the trees and the flowers, and if people saw me, they'd be like, what is
What's
she
this
doing?
lady doing?
Yeah. So I'm like, it's fine. Judge me, I don't care. Come talk to me. Let's talk to the flower together. But yeah, I think it's those simple things, like stay in the question, how could you support me? You walk outside and ask the tree, how could you support us right now? Like, you don't have to be specialized in anything or a guru of anything to just ask. Like, help to shield, just call it out. Divine, universe, source, shield my home, bring in more light. Bring to me, what else do I need to know? That's when I stayed in the question. It's like, okay, well, what else do you need to know? Here we go. I remember taking Doreen Virtue's Angel Tarot class, because I was like, there's no way I'm going to learn Tarot. What? No. Have you seen those cards? What? There's no way. I remember just being like freaked out. And then one day, and I get a lot of messages in the shower, right? The water and the connection to all of that. And all of a sudden it came in, you need to learn, not you need to, but it's an invitation, right? To learn Tarot, like actual Tarot, and the reverse. Because I was getting clients asking for me to read their cards. And that's a lot of things that was guiding me in my direction of my business as well, right? Was my clients. They were the ones that kind of was helping to push me on my path. Because I would get complacent and be like, no, like this is enough. So I remember looking online, and I was like, okay, I'm going to know who I'm going to take this from based on their pictures. So just show me who it is that this is going to be then. And I come across Biddy Tarot, and she is, I can't remember where her accent is from, but we'll just say Australia. I don't remember, but she has this beautiful little friendly accent, right? And she had an amethyst crystal just sitting right there by her laptop. And it was really simple. And she had this pretty simple card deck. And I listened to her talk and I was like, this is it. This is her. Okay, I can do this. This feels safe and on my path. And I think that's also, something else to like pay attention to is if you stay in the question and you ask source to bring to you what is in alignment for you, and you don't kind of pigeonhole what it's going to be, it will show up in a way you never imagined. Because I'm always thinking kind of like it felt dark, right? So when I saw her, I'm like, I'm all in. Let's go. Just that gut instinct. I always kind of went with that.
Yeah.
And still do. And so I took her class and it was beautiful and it taught me both sides of it. And she walked you through that, bringing in the past lives or however you want to look at it that those cards could bring and how to work through that and how to enjoy the cards now. And now I've got probably over 150 decks. So I definitely support the small businesses.
For good reason,
That's right. That's right.
We need to keep doing that.
Yeah.
So there's a couple things that stood out to me
Okay.
when you were talking there. One, you brought back staying in the question.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, you've really just immersed yourself into that statement. I've been living in my question. I would walk into a crystal shop and just ask basic questions. Then I moved to Reiki and I looked into tarot. Wait, you called it tarot? Is that how you really say it?
I don't know. It just came out that way. I say it both ways.
Okay.
I don't know.
I was like, have I been saying this wrong my whole
I love
life?
it. It's probably because she has the cute little accent. So I was like, well, I'm going to play on it. Yeah.
Yeah, might as well,
Yeah,
right?
I love
Have
it.
some fun with it.
Mm-hmm.
But staying in the question, that's extremely important. But I also love that you mentioned that we all are energy. So we all know ourselves, right? The problem is we go through life. We're told who to be, what to do, whether our dreams are realistic or are not realistic. We're told what to say or what not to say. And we go through life and we get all this dirt put on us. It's like a beautiful car, right? You can get a brand new car and you can go drive it. Then it sits in the garage for a while. And then somebody puts a cover over it. But that's like a beautiful, beautiful car. It's worth $100,000 or more. Nobody knows. But the moment you start stripping off this dirt, you recognize your energy too. That if you just start to ask the right questions, for example, what could I stop doing in my life right now that would make me a better person? And then you get that answer and you stop it. You just take this one step at a time. Naturally, you're going to find that your energy increases. You start to bless other people with your energy. And you just naturally start to be a high vibrational person. And it's simply because you made the decision to better yourself every moment of every day.
That's beautiful. Beautiful analogy. And that's so true. Yeah, you start just dusting it off and you start to see the light shining and the glimmers and the shimmers and all of that. And it's like, wow, this feels good. What is this? I want more of this. Yeah.
Yeah, and you start to enjoy yourself.
Yeah.
Like, wow, I'm actually kind of a cool person.
People do want to be around me. Yeah.
I like hanging out even by myself
That's
now.
right. I love it.
And that's what I love about your journey and your energy journey is really your journey. One of my favorite quotes is, if you can become more, you can achieve more. And through your journey, you became more.
Yeah.
You leveled yourself up and your own energy up a notch. And naturally, your achievements were acquiring the knowledge of crystals, Reiki, tarot, and all these modalities. To then you blessed yourself first and then your family. And now you're taking it to the world. And what better to gift the world and your family and yourself than who you really are and what you love.
Thank you. I love
Absolutely.
that. Yeah.
So for somebody out there now that's in their pit or just started their pit or trying to get out so desperately, maybe they have gifts similar to your son and your daughters as well as you. or maybe they're just simply struggling. Where could they start with energy, crystals, Reiki, tarot to start to better their lives?
Yeah. Well, first off, I would ask a question. Yeah, I would ask a question. What else is there for me? What is it that I'm not hearing or seeing, right? Show me. Like, you can ask them, like, show me a sign. You could say, okay, if I take this tarot class, will you show me a sign that I clearly will know as a yes? So let's say your favorite numbers are 111, right? And then you're driving down the street that day or the next day, and there's this license plate and there's 111, and you look at it and you're fixed on it and you're like, what? Was that a message? Yes, that was a message. Or if you like have a favorite song, and it showed up right after you asked a question. Like these are answers from source. Not always are they going to come down and just say, yes, this is exactly what you need to do. So if you stay in the question, the answer is going to show up. But you've got to have an open heart and an open mind to it. And, you know, that's where it's going to show up, is in the little things. So first off, I would stay in the question like that. And then, yeah, I would start with, you know, you could start with a couple rocks. Like I carried them around in my pocket. I always had them on me. That was really important. Even if I didn't wear like a necklace, because, you know, maybe that was too much for me in the beginning. Yeah. Like, what is she wearing? I don't know. It's so funny how you're just not in that world. And then all of a sudden you're in that world. And now you like want to wear 5 different necklaces and everybody see it, and 20 bracelets. Right. But, yeah, put some rocks in your pockets or, in your purse. Right. And then just start out slow, maybe get some lavender essential oil and use that. That's a high vibration oil. Second highest flower vibration to rose, right? So, you know, doing that and playing music, you know, stay away from things that are low vibration, like playing a lot of video games, bring in a lot of low vibration energy. Being aware of what movies you're watching, what you're allowing into your space is really a big deal. I was that person. I covered all my TVs with tapestries because, you know, energy moves through things. So I kind of did that. And like even my mirrors, I would stick another little circle mirror, like you could buy at Hobby Lobby, and I put it on backwards onto my mirrors so things couldn't reflect through my mirror. So I kind of really went in hard because I knew, you know, my children needed it now. Like this isn't the easy. We're
making a shift.
Yeah,
We
like,
got to. No
I can't
questions,
go slow.
baby.
Like whatever this means, it feels right, and I'm going to do it. And you know, I stayed in the question, and this is what it showed me. So I would say start there, and then yeah, think of like little tinctures you could take. Go out and talk to a tree, hug a tree, just hug a tree. Right? I know it sounds sometimes crazy for some people, but really, they want to help heal you. They're there for a reason, and they're all there. I remember the leaves would fall off the tree, and my son would get so upset. He felt like that they were dying, and he could hear them land, and he could hear just even walking on the grass. He didn't like walking on the grass because he didn't want to step on the blades, and like trying to clean out his toys, even if something was broken. Oh my gosh, everything has energy, and he knew it, and he was like, we can't get rid of it. Why can't it doesn't matter that it's broken. Or we'd go into a store and say, well, you can, you know, pick out a toy for your birthday or like a stuffed animal. Well, he'd have to get 2 or 3 because they were all friends. I mean, it's just crazy cool stuff. But anyway, that was a little side tangent. But I mean, yeah, everything is energy. So like, just be in the question, talk out loud. Like, what is here? What is it that serves me right now? Why am I here right now? Why am I sitting right here in this chair? Like what is coming in for me? Doing this amazing podcast right now. What is coming in for me, right? How can this serve others, help others? Like, yeah, be in the question. That's where I would start.
I love that. Everything that transforms with awareness.
Yeah.
Right. And even relating to your story, transformation doesn't have to take time. Transformation is now.
Yeah.
You may have an aha moment a year from now, but that aha moment and then you transformed, it was a moment. Like you said, you transitioned so quickly because you had the awareness. And staying in the question allows for awareness to be bred. Ask questions, get answers, take action.
Perfect.
And staying in the question allows for answers to come. Which allows for you to transform more. And that can be a moment-to-moment thing.
You're right.
Maybe you're going to work today listening to this. And you ask yourself, how can I bless somebody else's life today? How can I bless my own life today? And that's where even questions to other people. You want a stronger relationship? Start asking questions. How can I serve you today? Energy? Okay, there's probably people listening to this right now that think we're crazy.
Yeah.
That's okay.
I love it.
This is my challenge to anybody. Like there's two scenarios that I think of that can be really challengeable. One, for all the people out there that believe in God, Christian, Buddhism, whatever your religion is. Who created this world? God, right?
Yeah.
Why did he create so many types of crystals? So that's part one. And part two, if you don't believe it based upon that statement, go take a variety of different crystals, make sure they're real and authentic, not anything fake, and go freeze them and see the fact that around the water, every single crystal will develop differently in the ice.
Yeah.
You can truly see that there's an energy.
Yeah.
And I'll add one more thing in here. But if you go and take rice, you cook rice in one bag, write toxic things all over it. And on the other one, write all good things over it. And every day, even take 30 seconds, a minute each day. Speak negativity to the one that you have bad words written on. Speak good things to the other one. It's a complete trip.
It is.
Of the fact that this one will rot so much quicker and look disgusting. This one looks just fine.
Yep.
The power of energy and intuition and words is far.
Yeah.
And that's why we speak kindly to ourselves and the ones we love. Because truthfully, we do have influence on other people and other people have influence on us. As much as we like to say, be your authentic self, and that's important, you need to be aware of the influence you're spreading on others and what others are putting upon you.
Yeah.
And if you're speaking good things to yourself but bad to others, you're not serving this world.
You're right. You're right. We need to be stewards of, the light and of higher vibration. Yeah. To affect others for sure. That brings me to like Dr. Emoto with the water, right? He did that with the water, wrote, I don't remember the words, but one would say like joy and happiness. Another one would be like hate and disrespect or something. And you could see the water molecules. One would come together like a beautiful like snowflake, and the other one would just be completely paralyzed and in disarray. Yeah, just like your rice. So true.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. Just immerse. And this is what I'll say too. If you think we're crazy and you're not really ready to make the jump of, I believe in energy, I believe in crystals, I believe this, that, and the third, this would be my challenge to you. What do you have to lose? Like really, what do you have to lose? You'll live a better life. Because by believing in energy and intuition and light, you're going to treat yourself better because you're going to recognize, these words and this energy affects me. So I'm going to speak to myself better. I'm going to speak to my wife or my partner better. I'm going to speak to my kids better and strangers. When somebody cuts me off, instead of flipping the bird, having the thought of maybe they're just having a bad day.
Yeah. So
what do you have to lose? You live a better life? Okay, at the end of life, maybe me and you are crazy. Probably not.
Yeah, right.
We lived a better life because of it.
That's right.
So for you listening, recognize that even if you don't necessarily subscribe to these current beliefs that we're talking about, if you so choose to act upon them, you will live a better life.
Yeah. Being the question, how can this support me?
Yeah.
That's it. Just be simple. Ask that question. Yeah, I love that.
That's powerful. How will this support me?
Yeah.
Yeah. So somebody stays in the question for some time. Start to figure out, okay, I want to start to do this with my life. I want to take this out of my life. What else would you suggest for them to do to start to slowly creep out of that pit?
Yeah, I know for me, because sometimes you don't recognize the little signs. And so if you start to journal, just write things down, even if you don't do it on paper, you do it in your phone in your notes, and you're like, okay, I asked a question today. Okay, yeah, I did. Okay, a hummingbird came in. I haven't seen a hummingbird yet this year, and it just came across my path. It was crazy, and it almost stopped and stared at me. Write it down, right? And then, maybe in a week you have something else, like maybe a movie comes on and they say the exact words that you had asked a question to, and you're like, wait, what? Rewind and then listen, and well, what was in that message? Okay, well, if there wasn't an answer right there, it's definitely spirit saying, keep watching, keep listening, keep noticing, because we're here supporting you. Because yeah, not everything's going to come in that very moment. So I love putting the puzzle pieces together because everything is like a puzzle piece, and that's my funnest. I love doing that with my friends, and I'll be like, oh my gosh, guess what happened today? And guess what the number was that was on my phone? And I just sent this message. Oh my gosh. And then it was for this many minutes on, my talk. So everything turned into the number 333, right? Or something. Yeah, things like that, where it's just like you're in that magic and you're in your sweet spot. Like you're in it. Like you're on your path. Spirit's like supporting you. Keep following this. These are the little nuggets that you just keep walking, and it'll show up. Everything has to be a balance. Maybe you need to do something for yourself for me to connect with you. And now we just met up together, and this was another part of our paths that worked out. And it's such an orchestration that, oh my gosh, I can't even imagine what's behind the scenes, but it shows up. And just be in the know that keep track of it. I think keeping track of it, journaling it, speaking it out loud, even then, spirit knows that, okay, she's listening, she's paying attention. And even for those people that maybe it's coming in too loud or it's too much, we created a scenario with my son where if he had, say, let's just say an action figure, and we told Source, okay, he needs to sleep or he needs to do his homework. So when this action figure is turned around, he gets to be in his time. You can contact him when it's turned back around. Like you can put boundaries like that out. You have your own free will to choose when to receive and when not to receive. I'm going to sleep tonight, so, don't wake me up, or, you know what I mean? Come to me in my dreams and help me to remember them. And then when you wake up, you write that down. And they're all steps to your answer that you asked the question to.
I love that. Now, I have quite a bit of, this is a miscellaneous question, and if we want to take this out, that's fine.
Okay.
There's quite a bit of my listeners that are Christian.
Okay.
A lot of the Christians that I have spoken to think that energy practices come from the devil.
Okay.
What are your thoughts on that, and how do you speak to that?
Yeah. I mean, because I think that's where I was afraid of tarot, right? Or a pendulum, any of that. I was freaked out. So I can totally resonate with that. And I wasn't really raised in a religion. And I think that's a lot of how I moved quickly through these different modalities, because I didn't have like an awareness of something should be a certain way. But what's amazing is that's how I found, God and Jesus and Mother Mary. Oh my gosh. And the beauty of all of that, and that coming through my Reiki course, it's them. Connecting with Team Halo, they call themselves. And, it's once you create a judgment, it's you're shutting the door again. So again, staying in the question, like, why do I believe in it this way? Or why do I feel like this is wrong? Why? Is it something within your lineage? Is it something, that you've read or seen? Are these imprints? Are these really your beliefs? And if they're your beliefs, great, then go about it a different way, right? Not every path is the right path for everyone. You have your own way of getting to where you need to go. And find your way through the church, within the light and inside of a chapel, or within a Bible. Open it up, read a scripture. What did that sentence say to you? Be in the question, what does this mean for me? I mean, I do that in all kinds of books. Marianne Williamson's books, I pull hers up and we'll look at a sentence and be like, whoa, right? Okay, that was impactful. How's this going to feed my day? So I just say, stay in your truth. Like if something doesn't feel right and it doesn't resonate with you, then don't do it right now. It's not for you right now. But just know it's a right now. Like, don't close the door, because you never know what your journey is, where it's going to take you.
That's beautiful. I love that you say that.
Yeah.
And my personal beliefs, and it goes, I'm very universal. I have a lot of beliefs that mix and mold, because I think there's truths in everything.
Same.
But my thought process is, my God's a loving God. My universe is a loving universe. However we or the audience wants to put the words to it. Again, my God's a loving God, which means that he wants to serve everybody. Yeah. And this religion may be prominent here in the US, but may not be in India, yeah, or Japan or China. This religion God's not going to shame these people and not gift them modalities because they don't know about this religion. Yeah. So to me, there needed to be a lot of things created to serve the world. Yeah. That's my thought process.
Yeah, to meet everybody, especially where they're at. Yeah.
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 So I appreciate you answering that, because I'm sure you've experienced it. It is a thing, and we just need to be okay along our journeys and be okay with other people being along their journeys.
That's what I love about kind of my path, is I am open to all of that. Like, I've had clients come in and say, I'm LDS and that's my belief system. Then that's the energies we call in. I'm not going to work with the goddess energies, or, you know what I mean? We're going to stay where they're comfortable. We're going to call in what serves them. It's not about me, it's about them. And so that's how it's going to show up. It's going to show up what's comfortable for you, because this is for you.
Yeah, you're a vessel of change.
Yeah.
You meet them where they're at, and you just simply see where they're at and see where you want to go. Yeah. And you're the vessel that helps them take the steps necessary to get where they want to go. Yeah. And we need more healers like that in this world.
Thank you. I love it. I enjoy it.
There's billions of people in this world. Is there billions or is it millions? I'm pretty sure it's billions. Yeah. There's not enough healers to help everybody. Yeah. So we need to keep breeding the healers in this world to make life happen. Love it. So as we come to a close, what other advice would you give to the audience?
I would say just be open to change, because there's always room for growth. There's always room to learn more and to experience more. So yeah, I would say just be open to change. I know it can be scary sometimes, but just little steps, right? What could I do different today? Maybe buy some different food. Maybe buy an organic peach instead of, a non-organic peach, right? Yeah. Or whatever, right? Just simple steps like that really will start to shift you.
Amen to that. High vibrational foods.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that change is interesting too. You got to take a step by a time. Instead of no organic peach today, buy an organic one.
That's right.
And naturally over time, you'll find your house fully organic.
That's right. You're right. And then you'll up level even more.
Absolutely.
How can I shift this and go even higher? Yep.
And I guess that's one more call out for the day from the lessons that I've been so blessed to get from you and the audience, is that the number one tool you need is you.
Yeah.
Nobody else is going to come to save you. If you want to get out and you want to live a purposeful life, you're the number one tool is your mind, your spirit, mind, and body. And then the crystals and the energy and everything is on top of that. That's part of your tool.
Yeah.
So just recognize that you're the one that gets to choose.
Right.
So I love that. That in mind, how can me and the audience serve you?
Well, I'm offering a Heart Illuminating Reiki class. It's a 3-day class, March 22nd through the 24th. It's very intimate and small. So I think I have 5 more spots open. And I'm on Instagram, so you could follow me at jennydarlin.love. And my website is jennydarlin.com. So yeah, I'm in all the places, and I have a bunch of different products that are for the day-to-day use, like different sprays. I've created crystal smudge sprays in place of like smoke. That feels easy and accessible for all kinds of people in their journey, right? Help you with sleep, help you with grounding, help you with calling in more white light. There's a bunch of them. I have anointing oils. I have different card decks I've created. Yeah, so it's always changing. A lip scrub. I'm working on a bath salt. Just high vibrational products for everyday use to help you, just to help you where you're at. No judgment. Be where you are, and they're here to support.
I love that. And we'll link all of those links below. So please go follow Jenny. Absolutely. It was a blessing. Now, a question that I ask everybody at the end is, what is your definition of an authentic life?
I think an authentic life is being in the moment. Just like right here, right now. Like I am really focused on this conversation and where it's taking us. I'm not thinking about what my day looks like or what I need to do. So I would say just be in the moment, be present, and stay accountable. Have an open heart, stay accountable, and be present. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
If you're present this moment, this second, it'll be more fulfilling.
Yeah.
Which will lead to a more fulfilling future as well.
The second is a present, right?
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for coming on, Jenny.
Thank you. It was so fun.
Absolutely. Thank you again for listening to the Journey to Authenticity podcast. With that in mind, if you found this podcast interesting and transformational, go ahead and leave a subscribe and an honest review. This helps me to get the most interesting yet most inspirational guests so that I can make a bigger impact for you guys. As well, why I have you here. If you have a team, whether it's a part of a sports team or a corporate organization, go ahead and go to bradenbelknap.com and look into my team coaching. If you want to take your team to the next level, where they're operating at a high level, creating massive results and massive action, go ahead and click the link below. Go to bradenbelknap.com. I'd love to be your personal team coach.